In the meantime, guys, not to take away from that unbelievably amazing series of events on mainstream, but we have a pretty sick game here, and also a very important one, which could decide ultimately first place in the group, but more importantly, might end up being pivotal in someone going out of the tournament later on because of how closely matched this group is. We're here on Whirlwind and spawning in the bottom left-hand position as the blue Zerg player. He plays for TeamLiquid.net, one of the most diligent and dedicated pro gamers in the Western Hemisphere. We have the little one, TLO. He's going to be facing off against the Korean Terran player spawning in the red colors. In the top left-hand corner of the map, he represents Axiom Gaming and is currently tied up 1 game apiece. Cool under pressure. Can he beat his opponent in this crucial game? We have Heart.
My brain's gone, JoRoSaR.
It's alright. It's a TVZ. Just close your eyes and auto-cast the first 6 minutes because these guys are really good macro players.
Okay, it's going to be Hatch first, Reaper expand, then we're going to see a, kind of a probably 10-minute push out from Heart with 2 medevac stim and a couple of Marines and Marauders into into Widow Mines, and then we'll get TLO go Spire and a Baneling Nest simultaneously up into Zergling, Baneling, Mutalisk.
Right, well, Reapers are kind of out the window.
Oh, fine.
It is Whirlwind, to be fair.
Oh, you just told me to just ignore it and just watch what was happening.
Yeah, I'm ignoring it. Reaper's coming out now, don't worry about it.
Okay, Reapers are coming out. This is still good. In my mind, this is playing out just as every TVT I have on the ladder.
The Reaper's going to be able to get that double orbital command down very, very early on in the game. That's going to prove extremely pivotal. Yeah, it was going to be, of course, it is a command center first coming down from Heart on this particular game. The Overlord from TLO will be able to see it. In fact, the first Overlord will spot the scout there. TLO just checking, and does he see? Now he sees the command center. Is he going to turn around before Heart spots it? No, Heart spots the Overlord now. TLO did change the direction so that it looked like he was coming from the right-hand side. So it's not 100% clear to Heart that TLO isn't spawning in the top right.
TLO moving over, wants to try and get the confirmation of whether it is going to be the command center first. Does see the command center. Really important. Straight away gets the essential information of what's coming down here for Heart. And TLO's response to this will now get switched up. Is he going to go for a super fast third, or will he go for some pressure? Those are really his 2 options. My money is on a third from TLO, although I wouldn't be surprised to see him switch it up a bit.
Well, it is Whirlwind, so conventional thinking would be, well, large map, can just about get away with grabbing that third, but TLO can be a very, very offbeat player. Used to do it a lot more than he is now, but it wouldn't surprise me as well if we saw some sort of very quick shenanigans out of him. It could really go either way. It's depends on what's going through his mind at this time. It is game number 3. A lot is on the line here, don't forget, Maddles. So mistakes and larger risks, generally speaking, a little bit less smiled upon in this situation.
Now, TLO, he's busy getting down his first 2 gases. Everything about his build so far is identical to game number 1 and 2. When this starts coming up a bit more, though, is where things get a little bit more interesting. We're rapidly approaching that 6-minute mark you spoke about, JoRoSaR, where you can basically cast TVZ with your eyes shut, because it follows a regular pattern. And look at this! TLO going for the double creep tumor in the center again.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the hatch cancel allowed him to get those creep tumors down. He wants to spread the creep over to his opponent's base faster. And it looks like he is going to be taking a third anyway off the back of that, but he just wants as much notice of an incoming attack as possible and decided that's actually worth the minerals on this map in these spawning positions on this occasion. So he's going to try and get that creep basically as far up Heart's ramp as possible, as early as possible, so that it's going to take Heart forever and a day if he wants to sneak around the map into the third or something similar. Heart, in the meantime, though, he's getting those double reactors down on the barracks, like we've seen before. Going to go into a very heavy bio style a little bit later on, and the first couple of Hellions are now leaving base.
Now, things very, very different for Heart in this game so far. He hasn't gone for the early start board. No Banshees will be coming out, but TLO also mixing things up a bit too, getting down that spine crawler. I don't think he's actually got that in previous games, unless my mind deceives me, but does get a nice little scout about of what is happening. Also getting Overlord speed nice and early. This is turning into a very macro-orientated game where both players need to be a little bit careful that they don't overcommit to teching and macroing up and not getting enough units on the ground in order to defend pushes, specifically TLO.
Now, the Hellions have seen the third base location. They pulled back, and perhaps was a little bit surprised at how far the creep is being spread, to be honest. They're basically having to hold station in the middle of the map at this point, and that can't be a pleasant position for Heart to be in right now. Ideally, he wants to be significantly closer to where he can deal economic damage to TLO, but thanks to that hatch cancel in the middle of the map, TLO really cutting the time it takes for him to get that creep spread down. We can see going straight for the medevacs there at the starport, so we are going to be seeing a bio mine push, I suspect, coming out from Heart pretty shortly.
Very common strategy. TLO, though, he's already got his Baneling Nest on the way, a good number more Zerglings. I believe his lair is quite a bit later to all the previous games, and that's in response to what is coming down from Heart at the moment. But I love the fact that Overlords keep coming in, TLO keeping great tabs on what Heart is doing, and really getting all the information necessary, sees all the different timings of things that are occurring, knows there was no reactor on the factory, knows there's no third yet. This is the sort of information which allows TLO to make informed decisions about his play moving forward.
And here come a whole bunch of Lings as a counterattack from TLO. He's moving through the third location. Is he going to try and get up into the natural? It looks like it. He's actually he's not A-moving, he's just moving straight in, and he gets in. This is an absolutely huge move right now. Managing to force the cancel over there on that third CC is very frustrating for him as well. Won't be able to get into the main, but will be able to try and pick apart a whole bunch of SCVs. Some of those Zerglings on hold position right now. Number of workers killed this game so far by TLO has risen up to 6, now 7. Very frustrating little run by there, and definitely setting back Heart's plans.
7 workers killed plus a cancel on a third, definitely worthwhile. TLO really going to be feeling good about that. He's got his Baneling Nest now done too. He's getting another wave of drones with more Speedlings running around the side. He's going for all the sneaky shenanigans now, and will it pay off for him? It's certainly looking like it if it continues how it has just gone.
Alright, the units at the watchtower does see Heart's army moving out here. We'll get to see those Hellions out into the middle of the map, and that means that these Speedlings are more or less going to be able to waltz around the wall at the perfect time. He's morphing in some Banelings now, and I think that bunker is going to be very toast. However, Heart also laying on the aggression, now starting to pick apart that creep spread. And this is really buying TLO time. That advanced creep spread at the start of the game, well, guess what? Heart is further away from TLO's natural, from TLO's third base, as he moves in this time around, and here come the Banelings.
The Banelings wandering up, the bunker is down straight through though, penetrated into the natural base, and this is where we're going to see that third, nearly finished might I add, going to be forced to cancel once more, but half pushing in, taking out the third of TLO. TLO's got to be careful not to overextend, there's no more Banelings are left, a big stim on all of the Marines, leave a lot, but my god, Banelings! All the damage done there, and wow, that could be, that's game influence.
That's huge. Yeah, that really is huge there. TLO catching Heart off guard just for a second. Heart may be focused momentarily on defending back at home, microing those Stim Marines back up the ramp, and guess what? His attack met an absolute face full of Banelings. They're really, really well played from TLO, and now he is continuing to exert pressure. Heart's finding it very difficult to get a third command center down, even though it's safe within the confines of his natural. TLO playing this game beautifully so far.
Being so aggressive, and that's what I love to see. Heart, in game 1 and 2, he was always the aggressor, the one going for the multi-prong attacks, the one trying to put on the pain, and TLO was defend, 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 try and get some harassment in. This game, complete role reversal. TLO just going, I am going to kill you. And in he comes, more Banelings are there now. Marines taking a hit. Really nice control. If that natural middle line takes too much damage, it could all be over. And then coming in. Huge hits there. And that is exactly what TLO would have wanted. He's in an amazing position now.
Yeah, this is fantastic. Heart down to 73 supply versus the 94 from TLO. So only 20 supply down, but crucially, TLO has double the worker supply. We have a drop coming down now in the natural expansion as well. These Marines trying to pick up as much as they can. 2 Queens going to see if they can do some damage, but some Lings to back up with them. Good transfuses from them as well, just keeping them alive as long as possible until more Lings can be produced. And Heart's counterattack is now dead. TLO leads in the worker count 65 to 32.
A small push coming across the map now though. TLO needs to make sure that he doesn't overextend. The other concern I have for TLO is while his lair is done, he has not got any lair tech as of yet. No Spire down, no infestation bed or anything along those lines. He's still purely on Zergling Baneling, and he's got to think of how he's transitioning out of that or how he's going to end the game in the next couple of minutes.
And this is going to be a little bit tricky for TLO to handle with the Widow. My good positioning there on the ramp, actually getting the second one right next to it, deciding not to push them forward. If he manages to kill one of them off, I'm worried that the second one will simply get activated as well, but it looks like he's going for it here. Needs to be very, very careful. He needs to keep his units on hold position until he's ready.
Another thing went by.
Oh dear, is the ramp down? Well, there is no ramp at the moment as he moves straight in, but there are Marines and there are Widow Mines just waiting. So not going to do so much damage this time, but now TLO moving down. A lot of Banelings going up, a little bit cost ineffective, but does absolutely kill that drop dead.
And now, bear in mind, the Spire is nearly done, and once those Mutalisks start coming out, that's when the medevacs can get picked off. The fourth base, about to be discovered, will now be seen here by Heart, and he can now harass the main, the third, and the fourth very easily from that nice little area of dead space around the medevacs can go pretty much every which way, and it's up to TLO to try and defend it all. And if a push comes in towards the third at the same time, it'll be very difficult for TLO to try and multitask that.
Yeah, that's exactly what Heart's trying to do now. Unfortunately, the drop in the main cannot possibly go down due to the presence of a lot of Lings and Banelings. The fourth base, however, is doing a good job at the moment. But the third base now coming in, so constant aggression from multiple angles here, and TLO finding it a little bit difficult to cope. A couple of Banelings trying to chase the buyer down, unable to do so. He's got a flank coming in from behind, though. Can he force this army to go in? Ooh! Into the spy crawlers, and the answer is no, because he's going to be able to pick them up and move them out. Heart being very cost effective here, and the fourth base from TLO goes down, so definitely score one to the Terran.
Okay, the fourth going down isn't diabolical. The main is taking a bit of damage. Remember, TLO is still a long way ahead, though, in terms of just the pure supply. What he needs to make sure that happens, though, is that TLO is able to shut down the rest of the stuff. There's no third for Heart yet, so as long as all the remaining bases stay up, TLO is still ahead, especially with these Mutalisks now able to shut down the drop.
And the Mute is trying to pick apart this medevac. It's on red health. He's going to be forced to let go of those units here. TLO, though, for the first time in a long time, is equal supply with his opponent. Has to be so careful. He's now dropped below the supply now of Heart. This constant aggression, really something that TLO not able to deal with, despite being so far ahead earlier on. And 99 to 90, they're trading. They're trading blows at the moment. I can't say they're not trading evenly, because TLO has had some amazing engagement and Heart has had some amazing engagements, but they're cancelling each other out at the moment. They're on roughly the same supply. TLO now finally getting ahead again, and Heart coming back for more.
But remember, we've got Heart now starting to pull. Well, he's had to transfer SCVs down to be massively oversaturated as Nat. He's got no third CC, which means that he's going to be running out of income.
Yeah. That's going to be the main difference if this game ends up going the distance here. Simply the income advantage. And the Mute is coming in. TLO targeting down the medevacs with the Mutas. If he's able to do that, I think this might end up being game. Heart being so unbelievably aggressive with his army, but now that's going to evaporate. He's going down to 79 supply versus TLO's 105. Still within 20 or 30 supply of each other, but you're right, Battles. The difference here is economy.
It's a war of attrition, and Heart can just keep plowing up against TLO, but TLO, as long as he keeps trading, dare I say it, even slightly cost ineffectively, as long as this army doesn't kill that hatchery at the third, or the one at the fourth now, TLO has a huge amount of income where he can just keep making stuff, and stuff will win TLO this game.
Yeah, well, stuff will win somebody this game, that's for sure, but I know exactly what you mean. He might be able just to continue with the momentum here. Heart once again trying to come and pick apart the third, but it's not going to be enough as the Lings get into the main base, and TLO, ladies and gentlemen, takes the victory 2-1 over Axiom.Heart.